Comrade Rise said, Dengism equals confusing as fuck. Mr. Cauliflower said, well, all Dengists I know so far stand with China, and anyone who stands with that imperialist power is no comrade of mine. I stand with the NPA, and China stands with Duterte. There is no compromise. Another thing is that all Dengists I know so far are liberal cultists or cult leaders, due to the fact they can't defend their ideas, so they have to slander critiques, block communications in order to preserve their clearly flawed ideas, as not doing so would lead them to having to give up their or lose carriers. I repeat, no Dengist I know is the absolute minimum for my respect, let alone camaraderie. Union of Earth Soviet Socialist Republic says, Jason decline into revisionism continued. I like your past theory better. Crookie asks, I'm curious, what do you mean by Deng Xiaoping theory? Internet commenter said, Jason Unruhe Mouse Rebel News is not anti-Dengist, confused screaming. Then SMG John replied with, I think he means that Dengism is to be criticized as wrong, but he is not anti-Dengist, as in people who identify as Dengists. He merely thinks they are wrong and should be criticized for being wrong, but he has nothing against them personally. So, I can't read this style of writing, but I wanted to say thanks to you. You said, thanks Mouse Rebel, then Berkeley replied as, what is your flag? Then Tether answered with, Ming Dynasty, I think. RJ Rose said, I've been called an ultra-leftist for claiming China isn't socialist, and Dengist for claiming to critically support China against U.S. imperialism. Well, I think we've all been there. The Falcone General says, I disagree. I hate Dengism and Dengists, with the majority of which have harassed me. I don't see people with Dengist tendency as Dengists. I see them as revisionist tendency. And next, China is not your friend. They made the DPRK in Vietnam and Laos and Cuba neo-colonies. They don't stand with Palestine or the NPA or the CPI Maoists or the PCP or the TKP ML at all. Maxwell Glover says, I agree here, Jason. Just because I believe some of Deng's points and critically support China doesn't mean I'm a Dengist. Same goes with Connor, Mason, and Ramiro. I'm a third worldist. This being said, I don't think Dengism is much of a real ideology as some do. Like you said, Deng Xiaoping theory is not Dengism, just like Maoism thought is not Maoism. The difference with Maoism is that it has grown beyond China's revolution, applied in practice the Black Panthers, Peru, India, Philippines, while Dengism seems to be the only something that exists within the CPC as a legit tendency, or something online Western leftists and Baizaos like to call themselves, or especially others. It's a label people assume a lot, but mean very little. So now I'm going to address the comments that I have just read just now. Let me start with Comrade Rise. Said, yes, Dengism is confusing as fuck, and I have dreaded a time where I would ever have to go into what makes up such a crazy tendency. Not hating, just saying. Mr. Cauliflower, I usually agree with what you have to say and know about this, but to think unity is a policy that cannot apply to Dengists is incorrect. Also, your experience is not universal, although it is very common. I've been slowly revealing what the new MRN network is, but I've not even revealed the name of the entire project, but it can be put into two camps. The first camp is the Federated Camp, which includes Third Worldists, Anarchists, Maoists, and Demarchists. The second camp is the American Leninist Camp. This is for the Marxist-Leninists in the USA and Canada, upholding the American Leninism upheld by Red Scare TV. This runs parallel to Dengist and FVK in 1917. Connor Gillis is the one this activity is pushing is what she knows from. The theory of Mason Steiner, she is in good company with Dengist and FVK 117. Weeding out the Dengists can join us, and which Dengists cannot join us is the responsibility of those pushing the new wave of American Leninism. As for the Union of Earth Soviet Socialist Republics, you're incorrect. I have not changed theories. To answer Krugi, Deng Xiaoping theory is the revisionist theory created by Deng Xiaoping that has ended the revolutionary process in China, and thus by default with the market reforms began the process to make capitalism win over socialism. Socialism is a revolutionary process. You see, like capitalism, it must continue or it will cease to be the system. Deng Xiaoping theory seems to have persevered or even reinstated new democracy in China. New democracy is a double-edged sword, and I do not have the time to talk about it in this video. To the internet commenter, SMG John is correct. Tether, you confuse me. To RJ Rhodes, I know how you feel. I'm being slandered as promoting Dengism because I took an anti-sectarian stance on the issue. I swear, I already know that China is not socialist. I already know it's not headed in the direction of socialism. Frankly, I don't really know how many times I've said it in the past. To the Falcon General, a lot of people tell me exactly what you have told me. We united with a faction of the Dengists on the subject of internationalism and opposition to U.S. aggression. There are others who have had nothing but warm interaction with Dengists. You cannot assume that your experience speaks for every one of us. To be fair, though, what you've said is very common. Finally, Maxwell Glover, you are spot on. This is one of the reasons I am not anti-Dengist. Dengism first became an ML tendency in the late 90s, early 2000s. This tendency actually began online because of websites promoting communist China. These websites attracted many, and to be fair, several people, this was what got them into Marxism-Leninism. Today, there are several real-world Dengists there are several real-world Dengists active on the streets. I want to thank everyone for helping me flush this out. It looks like the dead horse was not so dead after all. Hopefully, it will die soon, but not by my hands, because this is, a waste of time. If you wish to know my full position in China, check the link in the description.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.